Imagine a fairy tale wedding that costs more than most people make in their entire lives. Well, that's what we're talking about in this video. We're going to take you on a journey into the super secret and super fancy wedding of Princess Sheikha Mahra. She's the daughter of Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, a really important guy in the United Arab Emirates, UAE, who's not only the Vice President and Prime Minister, but also the ruler of Dubai. What makes this wedding even more interesting is the mind-boggling price tag attached to it. We're talking about a jaw-dropping $50 million spent on this celebration, making it one of the most expensive weddings ever. And get this, the Dubai ruler himself announced this wedding in a really special way through a heartfelt poem he wrote. But wait, there's more. This wedding wasn't your typical royal affair. It had a surprising Western twist to it, which was quite unexpected. We'll talk about how this mix of cultures made the wedding unique and fascinating. Before we dive deeper into the wedding details, we'll also learn a bit about Princess Sheikha Mahra herself. She grew up in a world of luxury and privilege, but she's not just about fancy things. She's also really focused on doing well in her studies. So come along as we uncover the secrets and extravagance of this royal wedding, from the ceremony to the famous guests, and all the mind-blowing things that made it so special. Let's dive into the life of Princess Sheikha Mahra, the main character of our story. She's not your average teenager. She was born into a super rich and powerful family in Dubai. Her dad, Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, is a big deal. He's the Vice President, Prime Minister and ruler of Dubai in the United Arab Emirates, UAE. Princess Mahra's childhood was like something out of a fairy tale. She grew up in a palace, surrounded by fancy stuff, going to amazing parties, and having everything she could ever want. It's the kind of life most of us can only dream about. But here's the cool part. Princess Mahra isn't just about fancy parties and expensive things. She's also super into her education. Even though she could easily just chill and enjoy her wealth, she's all about learning and doing well in school. That's pretty unique, especially when you consider how many rich and famous people don't focus on their studies. So to sum it up, Princess Sheikha Mahra's life is a mix of fairy tale luxury and a strong drive to be a smart and educated person. It's a story that shows you can have all the cool stuff in the world and still work hard to be the best version of yourself. Now let's step into the magical world of Princess Sheikha Mahra's wedding ceremony. And trust me, it was nothing short of a fairy tale. Before the big celebration, there was a traditional Islamic betrothal ceremony. This is a significant step in many Middle Eastern weddings, a moment when the couple's commitment to each other is celebrated in accordance with their culture and beliefs. But what really caught people's attention was the wedding itself. It was different from what many expected. You see, most royal weddings in the UAE are traditionally grand affairs, deeply rooted in their culture. However, this one had a surprising Western vibe to it. It was a bit of a shock to some, as it mixed elements from Western cultures into the celebration. This unique blend made it stand out in the world of royal weddings. The atmosphere was electric with joy and love in the air. It was clear that Princess Sheikha Mahra and her groom were genuinely happy and excited to start their life together. The wedding was a perfect union of two people, and it was celebrated with enthusiasm and heartfelt emotions. And let's not forget the guest list. This wasn't just any wedding. It was attended by some of the most esteemed guests and members of the royal family. Imagine being at an event with all the who's who of a country. That's the level of importance this wedding held. The wedding ceremony of Princess Sheikha Mahra was a blend of tradition and modernity, a joyful celebration of love and culture. It left a lasting impression on all who attended and those who followed the lavish affair from afar. Okay, get ready to be shocked because we're about to talk money, and it's not your typical wedding budget. Princess Sheikha Mahra's wedding was beyond extravagant, and the price tag on it was mind-blowing. Hold on to your seat because this wedding reportedly cost a jaw-dropping $50 million. Yes, you heard that right, $50 million. To put it in perspective, that's more money than most people earn in their entire lifetime. It's a mind-boggling amount that makes this wedding one for the record books as one of the most expensive weddings ever. Now let's break down where all that money went. First off, the wedding dress. When you're a princess, your wedding dress isn't your typical dress from the mall. It's like a work of art, made with fancy fabrics, lots of detailed designs, and maybe even some real jewels. Imagine wearing a dress fit for a queen. Then there were the decorations. Everything from the place where the wedding happened to the flowers and fancy stuff was out of this world. It was like stepping into a fairy tale. But it's not just about the things you can see, it's also about the unforgettable experience. With a budget this huge, you can bet there was top-notch entertainment, incredible food, and a level of fanciness that left everyone in awe. So, when we talk about the cost of Princess Sheikha Mahra's wedding, we're talking about a celebration that was way, way over the top. It's a wedding that will be remembered for being incredibly extravagant and fancy, setting a new standard for what a big, dreamy wedding can look like. This wedding was like no other, because it cost an unbelievable $50 million. That's like a crazy amount of money for one event. To give you an idea, it's more than most people will earn in their whole lives. This wedding has officially made history as one of the most expensive weddings ever. What made it even more interesting was how it mixed different cultures. It started with a traditional Islamic ceremony, which is kind of like the customs and traditions they follow. But the main event had a Western feel to it, which was pretty unexpected. It's like blending two worlds together in one big celebration. At the wedding, you could feel the happiness and love in the air. Princess Sheikha Mahra and her groom were clearly over the moon to start their life together, and everyone was super excited. And guess who was on the guest list? Some seriously important people, including members of the royal family and other VIPs. It was like a gathering of the world's most important folks. In the end, this wedding wasn't just about the crazy amount of money they spent. It was about creating unforgettable memories and celebrating love. Princess Sheikha Mahra's wedding will be remembered as a symbol of luxury and the power of love, and it set a new standard for big, amazing weddings that people will be talking about for years to come.